Live from the McCommune studio in Linwood, Washington, this is the Podworm Spacecast. The Podworms are 7 lifelong friends who, just like a child's pool from a buy nothing page on Facebook, first entice you with the prospect of free entertainment and then leave you soaking wet holding a useless linoleum tarp. Welcome to the Spacecast. Andrew wrote that one. It was pretty hard to get off the...
Yeah, it's like you read that for the first time.
It was.
It's like he expected you to be able to pronounce the word linoleum.
Linoleum is tough for me.
Tarps aren't made of linoleum, though.
No, that's odd that you would have a linoleum tarp.
That's the last time
I don't know
asked.
if he knew what he was talking about.
I think Andrew may have gotten a free tarp, and it was just somebody's old
shaped as
kitchen
a kiddie
floor.
pool.
I think maybe my bad was asking Andrew
To write something?
if he could write me an intro because I
Yeah.
didn't listen to the last episode.
Big fan.
Do we ever listen to any of the episodes?
You know, before we go any further, I suppose I should introduce who's here and what's
Yeah.
going on and who I am. I'm Andrew's not here, who is our usually our main leader. He takes us through. Main leader is what we call him.
Main leader Leclerc.
We're recording here at the McCommune Studios. Kevin and I now live in a duplex. I am Mike McCoy, stepping in, understudy for Andrew Leclerc, one half of the Deadly Brother duo. And to my right, I have Kevin McCoy.
End of the Deadly Brother roll call.
Yes, the second of the
So deadly.
Brothers. So deadly. And our local historian, Peter Fries, is here.
This is what you call a commune?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Aren't we sharing around a table
Sharing everything?
mics?
Yeah, they're sharing everything.
They're sharing everything. Okay, this is a commune.
and of course, his little buddy, Jim Charters.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here. You know, I was thinking about, so there's more McCoys that moved in here, but what was the other one's name that moved in next to you? Devin? Or was his name Kevin or something?
He's so sorry.
Dang it.
Well, I don't even know what happened. I don't know You guys
either.
had like a conniption over here.
After you introduce Jim, you have to say he's so historian every episode.
That's right.
And I was
They
waiting
raced
for a break.
and they went,
And if you're new, I'm sorry.
Kevin was watching Jim. I was watching
how
Kevin.
many McCoys live in the McCommune?
There's 3 officially now.
Okay.
Only
4.
3?
There's 4.
There's 4 McCoys.
I was going to say, you're not counting Gus?
I am counting Gus.
Good old goose dog.
He is the 4th.
Do you count the people you have locked away?
6. You're right. 6.
Okay.
There are
You
6
only have
of us. There might be 6 plus. Anyway, so Kevin and I live in the same
I
duplex.
had that phone.
It's a good one.
Dad's gone.
Rules.
We're off to a great start here. Jim, how's it feel being in your old place? Jim used to live in this side of the duplex, and now Kevin has taken over.
You know what this feels like? It actually doesn't feel that bizarre because it reminds me of being in the duplex next to us when Chris and Morgan lived there. Because it's set up exactly the same as theirs was. They had a big TV and the sectional in the corner.
So we're in a cul-de-sac that has 3 duplexes, and I know this is very interesting, but we won't stay on it too much longer. But basically, you go down a small little drive, and there's 3 duplexes all next to each other on the cul-de-sac.
They were specially constructed for the McCoys to create this commune.
And you said we're in a duplex on a cul-de-sac?
Yeah. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but yeah, there's actually 3 duplexes, so 6 individual places for people
Wouldn't
to
that
rent.
be a sixplex?
No, that's what you don't have on your chest. Ouch. Oh.
Ooh, man.
Nailed him.
Dad's gone.
So hot. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're right here in the dog days of August right now. It's so hot.
In case you like dog jokes.
Oh, man. Hot dog.
We could spend some time on dog jokes if we wanted.
It's a dog joke segment.
We got plenty of
I
them.
think we're off to a rough start.
Yeah, so it's pretty hot.
I'll be right, Bark.
Yeah, Peter, I heard Peter, you're a pretty big WSU Huskies fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I like him husky.
Did you say WSU
Oh my
Huskies?
God, I've lost my mind.
Jim went to college out of state, so
WSU,
it's okay.
UW, same difference.
Well,
Daniel, go ahead and leave that in.
It's very rare that we tell Daniel to leave stuff in.
Hey, Daniel, our editor, please don't cut that last part out. Thank you.
I deserve to have that left in, just so I can have the WSU and UW fans both crucify me.
All those fans listening out there.
Yes,
But it'll be worth it when they start worshiping you.
Absolutely.
Sandals are on the other feet now.
He will rise. He will rise again.
I'm not even 30 yet. Come on.
33.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, it's good to be back. I was gone for quite a few episodes there.
It was great.
Yeah, went on.
Wait, so you come back and you get to be leader of the podcast after being gone for all this time?
I don't make the rules. I just
Dad
enforce them. Dad makes the rules, and Dad's gone.
Dad's gone.
Dad's gone.
So stepdad stepped in. So we got a great show for you. If you can't tell, this is a great podcast. We got some pod mail. We got
pod mail?
We may have a fun game at the end of this episode. So stick around. There will be surprises throughout
the episode.
This reminds me of back in, I think it was 2008 when the Writers Guild in Hollywood went on strike. And the late night guys were just trying to figure out what to do for their late night shows. This pod episode reminds me a lot of that.
Yeah, it is. It is like that. So typically we will have 7 people in the room. We're down to 4, so a very small.
Core 4.
The core
Yeah.
four. The last bunch of episodes have just been core 4. Though.
Yeah,
We're all state approved, education board approved. We're
are.
the core.
Common core.
Don't let that scare you off because we got a great podcast coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and read you some pod mail that we've got.
I'm always surprised when we have pod mail. Like you said, we have pod mail, and I went really because I'm always surprised that people want to write in.
I have been using the Podworms email address on various activities and things, mostly to purchase items that I'm not allowed
Is
to
there
buy.
a credit card attached to our email?
So if you're
just been
getting
on the
pod
dark
mail, it might be for me.
I use pod the PW Spacecast as Gmail as my junk spam just so I can feel like we're getting any sort of pod mail.
I ordered a few supplements that I didn't
getting
want
a lot
in
of
my
promotions?
email.
Yeah, I just sign up for email lists. I love them.
I use it to log into the dark web.
Whoa, who's that?
Who's that?
Who's
there?
over here?
Hi, I'm Gary.
What the fuck, Gary? How'd you get in here?
I used your email address to get in.
Oh no!
I've hacked the internet and now I'm here.
Kevin, is this the guy you keep locked upstairs?
Shoot, damn it, Gary, get back down there.
Nah, fuck you.
Bang, bang.
Oh, guys, no. Back to the dark web.
Anyways, I don't know that pod mail's from the dark web.
We'll see. Okay, so this pod mail.
So chaotic. Thank you for shooting my prisoner.
Wow.
I've been trying to listen to our podcast, and kind of see a progression of things.
Right.
Today it feels like we've gone back 20 episodes. It feels like we're very juvenile in this episode.
I'm going to say that's our first official death on the podcast.
I think that the heat has melted our brains today. For all you listening out there, it's been 90 degrees for 4 days here.
Which for us in Washington
For us is a lot.
It's too much. It's too much.
We've also been up for 4 days on meth, but that's just a Washington
No,
thing.
that's a normal podcast thing that we do before we record.
Yeah, we prep.
Hey, if we release this and you hear it, you're a true fan.
if we release this.
Anyway, so back to the pod mail. I just wanted to. A couple episodes back, we had our 1,000th Instagram follower on the podcast, Ron Cafferty, and had a nice conversation with him, and he sent us a message just as a little follow up, which I thought I'd share with you all.
Thanks, Ron.
So this is from Ron. He says, "Hey guys, I'm on a cruise for a family vacation and wanted to say thanks for the honor. I had a great time. Also, the band sung a song about a wagon wheel, and I immediately cursed you. Thanks for that." So thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
That's we really appreciate you having you on. You're a great guest, one of the best. for sure. Sweet guy.
So some band
Top five.
covered Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yeah, it had to be that wagon wheel song. That guy's dope. I'm really actually kind of bummed that I missed the interview with him.
You would have had a good time.
Yeah, but
Ron would have liked you a lot.
He said specifically, actually, that he didn't like you at all, and you were his least favorite.
I did hear you guys say that I was fired, and that he was taking over because he was an accountant.
That's why I'm a little confused
I
that you're
said
back
that.
because you were fired. But I think we're a little short-handed around here.
What I want to know is what is his curse though? Like,
Yeah, he said he cursed us, but what did he curse us with?
Do you think he heard the song? He's on a cruise ship and he hears the song Wagon Wheel and he takes out his black book, opens up to whatever dark page.
I mean, what do you think he means?
I thought that
He brought his book of spells on the cruise with him.
He cursed us at that moment. He says, "I immediately cursed you."
Oh man!
Immediately?
Which is why-
He says a band sung a song about a wagon wheel, and I immediately cursed you.
He's probably got a few memorized then.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, maybe he didn't bring his black book.
maybe that's where everybody else is. Maybe they got the curse and they're all dead.
Maybe that's why I've stubbed my toe every day this week.
Yep,
Every
you got that
day?
part of the curse.
I've hit my head every day this week.
Oh, what have you done?
Nothing.
Anyway, so we're in the dog days of summer. It's pretty warm, and so around this time, people go camping and all that kind of fun stuff. Jim actually just got back from fun camping trip. I don't know if you had a good time. Where'd you end up going?
I had a wonderful time. We went to Mount Hood, Clear Lake, Oregon. We go there every year around the same time, usually end of July or beginning of August. This time is beginning of August.
End of July.
End of July. We're a group of end of Julyers.
We all get together.
We're all get together end of July, and we go down to Mount Hood, Oregon.
Beautiful thing.
We said it. We had a really good time. We couldn't go earlier because Caitlin had work, but it was a nice like 48-hour getaway.
Oh, nice.
Very relaxing time. It wasn't super hot like other years. We all got in the inner tubes the whole time. It was a good time.
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julie and I went camping down on the Oregon coast. So that's partially why I missed some episodes there. There's a sweet camping spot that we go to where it's like, basically it feels like you're camping anywhere here, just like in the woods. But then like 100 feet away, you can walk under a bridge and there's like a completely empty coastline and no one's there. And it is like the best. We go there for like a week, and this is our third year doing it, and it's like the most relaxing time. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty windy. It's kind of chilly. It's not like you're going and like enjoying the summer. It's kind of the opposite. Like it felt like all of a sudden it was like early spring or something. But it's interesting. We were on the beach because it's very windy. There's like basically some people like had put together and stacked up some logs as like a wind blocker.
Yeah.
And so every single time we go out there, if that was open, we would go and hang out there. And it was weird because it was the only one. We had like just random people come up and like sit like right next to us, even though the rest of the beach is completely vacant. And like there's like plenty of room for anybody. There's sticks in other places where you could set up something like that, but it's like if you're sitting there, like we'll just be sitting and people will come up and sit like on a completely empty coastline and come and sit right next to you. Like we had a guy like whose family reunion was there, and he was he was pointing out every person and just like started being like, "Yeah, that's my daughter, and that's my other daughter," and that's he was just like sharing about his family. We're like, "Oh, cool, that's super dope." Yeah, okay.
Yeah, shouldn't you go back over there and be with them?
Yeah, should you be with your family? Is that?
I'm just not a big fan of the wind.
Not a big fan of the wind.
I love my family, but I hate the wind more.
I used to have another daughter.
She got carried.
She looked a lot like you.
She got carried away by the wind.
Her hair out too long, floated away.
Carried out by the wind.
Now every night I curse the wind.
I'm gonna take out my little black book.
But the rest of my family just loves coming down here, so I got to go with them.
Yeah, so that dude came up and hung out with us. There was like another lady who's like walked very solemnly like by herself, like around the entire beach. We saw her like kind of coming around, and she went up like directly like right next to us, hung her like shawl off of one of the sticks that was like pointed straight up, sticking in the sand. But this is like right next to us, and she comes really close, puts up her shawl, takes a photo of it, and then puts it back on and like just hugs it and walks away. And Julia and I are just like she like, was that like her mom's shawl or like some friend that's passed away? Like it was such a weird experience to have someone like it just kept happening to us when
It
people
sounds
kept
like
coming up.
this is you're like all of these people come to the same camping ground for the same reason you do, and it's such a tradition at this point that everybody does the exact same thing.
Yeah,
every year.
it was just so weird because it was like she just came up and she took this picture very like quietly and then quietly like hugged the shawl and just kind of walked away. And her daughter and her like husband were over here like playing frisbee. And we're like, what's going on?
I'd wager it's some type of cursed shawl.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I
I just really don't want to bother these people, but I really like the shawl. I just want to take a picture of it right now.
Yeah, maybe she just loves the shawl. Yeah. Maybe she has an
It's
Instagram
my favorite shawl.
Shawlgram.
It was given to her by her first husband.
Oh, of course.
Well, because we're like sitting there trying to think like
That she used to come to the same spot with.
now she takes her new family there.
You think that was the only thing left when the daughter floated away from the wind? Was the shawl?
Oh my
The
god!
one thing she left just in the wind.
And
the shawl was
she grabbed it out of the air.
The shawl didn't float away.
No, it's just her daughter.
Yeah, and then the other time we see like a young like I don't know like 8-year-old kid walking across like the river rock because there's just a little like patch of water like a stream, and he's like very slowly like barefoot like trying to get across, and he's got a blanket all the way around him, and Julia like looks over and she's like, look, it looks like that kid's trying to sneak up on us. And we're like watching him and he's just kind of like waddling over. And then he like very slowly does come all the way to us and sits down. And we're like, I'm like getting to the peak of my high at this point. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's sitting there and he starts talking to us and he's like, whoa, wait, what's that? Because Julie and I got matching Oregon Coast sweatshirts when we were there because
Sick.
it was a little
Nice.
cold. And so they both had all like the coastline and all the different lighthouses that are there.
Oh, the lighthouse tour.
Yeah. And so then this kid like sees our sweatshirts and immediately like comes over to me and is like right up close to me, and I'm like, this is just a little weird because your family's here. I don't want this to be a weird thing. I'm also high and paranoid, so I'm like, this is like, what is going on? The kid's like, oh my gosh, I've been to that one, and he starts like poking my chest and like touching each one. I'm like, yeah, and then he went back, and I was a little relieved, and then he was like, oh my gosh, I gotta show you my shirt, and he takes off his shirt.
Of course.
Tattoos all over his body.
We're just like, this is a kid. I don't.
Grizzled, tattooed 8-year-old.
Tattoos. Tattoos of all the lighthouses.
Yeah, tattoos of all the lighthouses, and then teardrops for all the men he's
Oh
killed.
my god.
All the lighthouse keepers he killed.
Yeah. Anyway, so that kid was a ghost,
Oh.
Cursed ghost?
cursed ghost.
Did,
No,
did his hand go through you when he tried to touch the lighthouse?
yeah, that was
Casper?
the first thing that ticked
Oh,
me
okay.
off.
Maybe you're just super high, but like, you know.
Yeah, but then he like finally got up and walked away because his parents were like calling, and we like kind of like tried to give them like a friendly like we're not creeps wave, and then it was fine. But it was just like
Says
a very
the two creepy high people.
Their parents probably went, just go talk to that nice married couple over there.
just go learn
Just go
They
get
were
away.
probably trying to get some
Go
alone
do
time in the
something
tent.
else.
alone time on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. And then the only other eventful thing that happened is there was one night where Julie and I were around the campfire making some marshmallows, or making some s'mores and roasting some marshmallows. And I did what I used to think was just an old wives' tale.
What's that?
It's
No, Mike.
I was also high again.
Yes,
And I was roasting my marshmallow, and it was and I kind of like mine a little burnt.
Yeah.
And I like to blow it out and have it be a little crispy.
You like to have it be on fire.
Yeah, a little crunch. Yeah.
You're just like, you suck at being a marshmallow. You burnt.
You burnt. So I had done it a couple times, and this time I had put it in, and it caught on fire, and I brought it up to my face very calmly.
Of course.
Very calmly.
Yeah.
And I brought it up and I blew it out. And I started to bring my hand back down to put it back in the fire. And then I saw that it was still on fire. And for some reason that incited panic because I was like,
it was still on
yeah, because it
fire.
was still on fire. And I was like, no, that it can't burn that long. It's not like you can only burn for a little bit of time. And then I swung it back super fast and I smacked myself in the face and some molten marshmallow landed on my lip and actually like burned and bubbled my lip. It's actually healed now.
Ouch.
But it was like I whacked my face and then I pulled it off and then my mouth was still burning. So then I had to like spit it out and it finally came off. And I'm pretty high. Julia may have been a little high. And so like paranoia peaks because it's dark and we can't tell what the damage is. And we're like, is this gonna...
I'm gonna die.
Like, no, not die, but am I like maimed? Because it was
Is there
like,
a hole in my lip?
yeah, because it was like actually bubbling up and like
Right.
it was like, yeah,
Ouch.
it was pretty nasty actually.
You probably got it all in your mustache and your
lips.
beard.
Yeah,
It's hard to clean.
it singed
Yeah.
my mustache and beard and it made my lip bubble up. And then it's like go into the bathroom, like it's just those super orange, like flickering lights. So it's like we really couldn't tell. So we more or less had to sleep like in like a panic because it was like there's no way we're going anywhere. We're not calling anyone. It's way too late. And basically
Like no matter what happened,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to live that
Yeah,
way.
you're gonna have to live for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt. So we went to bed, and then Julia was so nervous about it that she couldn't even she didn't even want to wake up and have to like look and see that she put a mirror. She put a little mirror, one of her like her makeup mirror next to my bed, so that way in the morning. She woke up and she kind of like hit me and was facing the opposite way, and she was like, "Mike, take a look. Tell me what it looks like. I can't
Is
do
she
this."
expecting that she just like turn over and you just have a skull for a face?
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, we were both just like weirded
Your
out,
upper
and
lip
it
would
was
just be
like,
gone?
and we kept reading online that it was like, if you have anything worse than a 1st-degree burn, you need to go to the hospital.
You will die. Yeah.
yeah. And so I looked in the
Whatever.
mirror, and it ended up it was kind of nasty, but it took like 2 or 3 days, and then it went
your
away.
lips heal pretty quickly.
But all that to say, if you have a marshmallow and it's on fire, just let it.
You
just
know,
let it
when
go.
we were in camp and we would roast marshmallows, they taught us a very specific thing was that when you bring it up to blow it out if it catches on fire, before you even blow it out, you had to say the whole sentence, "Oh my God, my marshmallow is on fire," to calm yourself down
Yeah.
before blowing it out.
That's brilliant. That
Yeah.
actually makes a
'Cause
whole
it's
lot
like
of
it
sense.
gives you like extra 10 seconds to be like, okay, let's process this. Okay.
Is it just like a common thing that kids like smack themselves in the face?
Probably.
I've never heard of this.
Or they end up flinging a on fire marshmallow like into
That's
some,
more like
some
it.
dry wood or something.
Did you ever see the movie Dennis the Menace?
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
That's exactly, you're right.
He flings it onto Mr. Wilson's forehead.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
haven't seen
It-
that
Deep
movie.
cut for you.
It's a
you
deep
fans
cut,
out
but I
there.
haven't seen that movie in years.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
ain't seen that movie since yesterday.
Get out, Gary! Get out of
Gary,
here!
come on,
Don't you have
Gary.
something better to do?
Dark web.
Second death on the pod. Still Gary.
Well, he's from the dark web. He's
still
he's
alive.
an actual
He
zombie.
deserved, yeah, I guess he's.
You hit him with 6 shots and he's still alive.
Godfather. Dark pole. Dark pole.
That's a dark pool, man.
A dark pool.
You hit him with 6 shots.
I
and he's
love
still
Dark
alive.
Pool and I love Dark Pool too.
Dark pole.
The great
Off-brand Deadpool.
Dark pool.
dark pool.
I just found an off-brand of Kung Fu Panda.
I was so surprised by
The,
that.
the Adventures of Panda Warrior, which I have to watch with Rob Schneider, Norm Macdonald, and Haley Duff.
And Tom Kenny.
I don't know who Tom Kenny
He's like
is.
a reputable
That's
voice
SpongeBob.
actor. He's SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
That's
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
What is it? What is it rated?
We have to rent this and watch it.
Is it rated
it
like
had the-
G or PG?
Peter, it had,
Gotta be
it had
cheap.
the family approved dove on the front cover.
Oh, from the Christian
yeah,
Association.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you should mention that because I actually have a game related to that.
Game
And
time.
I actually made a game called Kung Fu Panda or Panda Warrior.
Wait, did you?
I found lines from both movies, and we have to guess, or you guys have to guess whether it came from Kung Fu
Dang.
Panda or if it came from The Adventures of Panda Warrior.
So I have to
great.
confess that the first time I watched Kung Fu Panda was in freshman year of college, and I fell asleep a third of the way into it.
Jim.
So
I'm glad you confessed that.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that up front.
Say 5 Hail Marys.
I don't know if that'll actually
Mary.
handicap you because there's quite a big gap between
Oh, there
writing
is?
styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because as good and as wonderful when you should look up the trailer for the Adventures of Panda Warrior, because you'll notice that the quality is great. It's definitely not an overdub of something that was animated in a different language. It's definitely its own original story.
Right.
Has nothing to do with Kung Fu Panda at all. And I'm being facetious because it is a complete rip and it's just terrible.
You had me going.
Is this like Transmorphers level like quality writing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because I actually looked it up because I was like, how did they get Norm Macdonald and Rob Schneider and Haley Duff and Tom Kenny to do this?
Dollar bills.
Well,
And we have to mention it's not Hillary Duff, it's
Haley Duff.
The good Duff.
her sister.
Yeah, who was in Napoleon Dynamite.
That's right.
Susie McGuire.
Oh, that's funny. I have another game. Yeah, but it's more like Lionsgate probably had like a contract with them that they would do X amount of movies or something like that.
And they were missing a movie.
And so they would just throw in like, oh, here, let's have you guys do the Adventures of Panda Warrior, or they just tricked them. I don't know because it looks terrible. But yeah, so I've got 10 quotes here, and we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna have you guys choose whether you think it was from Kung Fu Panda or Panda Warrior.
Ooh, what do we get if we win?
Pride in yourself, and that's it.
Not interested.
I don't know.
I'd like to clarify for the fans that I had no idea this was coming. I just mentioned that movie and sent it to the group pod.
Yep, and you
Because I was like,
inspired.
this looks hilarious.
So okay,
You're inspirational.
you're an inspiration, Kevin.
So I'm not cheating when I'm playing this game. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, so the first line is, and you have to guess, is it Kung Fu Panda or is this Panda Warrior?
Could you say the full title, please?
Oh, yes, The Adventures of Panda Warrior.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the first line is, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called present. Kevin.
Kung Fu Panda.
Peter.
Kung Fu Panda.
I'm going to go with the Kung Fu Panda.
Wow, okay. You are all correct.
Yes.
That was, in fact, Kung Fu Panda.
Nailed it.
All right, the second line is, there is no peace here. Peace doesn't exist. The world as we know it is hard.
I'm gonna go with
Stating the obvious.
not Kung Fu Panda.
Okay, not Kung Fu Panda from...
I'll go with The Adventures of Panda Warrior.
Yeah, that one.
Adventures of Panda Warrior.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. You guys are all right. That is from The Adventures of Panda Warrior.
This game stuff.
One often... this is the third one.
Okay.
One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
Oh.
That's deep.
Real deep. Jim?
That's I think that's the Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kung Fu Panda.
I'm also going to guess that.
Okay, great.
We're going to have to vary up some guesses here. Otherwise, we're all going to tie.
No, it's gonna get
really hard.
It's gonna
Is it
get
gonna
really
get
tough.
better?
No, you just wait. It's gonna get real tough.
Okay.
Okay.
Fourth line. You can't defeat me. You're just a big fat panda.
Well, I don't know about this one, you guys.
Oh man, maybe I'll vary up my answer.
In both movies, there is a fat panda.
Yes.
That is big.
Yep.
Which is ironic because in real life, pandas struggle to find food.
That's right. They can only eat bamboo.
So I'm gonna go
Yep.
with the knockoff.
Okay.
I'm also going to go with the Adventures of
Adventures?
Panda Warrior.
Yeah, I'll go with The Adventures of Panda Warrior on that one.
All right. You guys are all wrong.
Fuck you.
That is from Kung Fu Panda.
See, I told you it was a toss-up.
Well, wow.
All right. So this is the fifth one. That's the evil master's dark forest. Set one foot inside, and his army can easily find you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the knockoff.
And knowing what I know from the plot of the Kung Fu Panda, which I was asleep for, that's going to be The Adventures of Panda
The
Warrior.
Adventures as well.
Okay. You're all correct.
Should we make this a team game?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, 6. Hey, it's not fair. Pigs can eat whatever they want, but I can only eat bamboo shoots.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh. Don't look at me. Fine. The Adventures of Kung Fu Panda.
Wait.
Kung Fu
wait,
Panda?
You just mixed both the titles. Is it the Panda Warrior or Kung Fu Panda?
The Adventures of Kung Fu.
Kung Fu Panda. I don't even remember which one that is.
That's the Jack Black one.
Great, let's do that
right.
one.
Yeah, did you just say Kung Fu or Warrior?
Yeah, Kung Fu or Warrior.
Got it.
I'm
Kung
going to
Fu
say
Warrior.
Warrior.
I'm also going to go with Warrior.
Okay, we got 2 Warriors and 1 Kung Fu.
Hell yeah, mixing it up.
And it was the Hey, It's Not Fair. Yeah. So Peter is incorrect. It was from Warrior.
Nice.
Well, that
Hell
was
yeah.
great.
Nice.
So Kevin
Wanted to
and
mix it
Jim
up.
getting some points.
Taking the lead.
All right,
we
number
go.
7. Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. Kevin.
I'm going to say Kung Fu because it said Kung Fu.
I'm going to go the opposite of what Kevin said.
So that's exactly my thinking also. Kung Fu Panda. It says Kung Fu right
Okay,
right
2
there.
kung fu and then 1. All right, Kevin and Jim take another point.
Ho!
Peter is way behind.
That's right,
That
baby.
felt redundant. Can you read that quote again? Because it just doesn't feel very well written for Kung Fu Panda.
right. Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills
tells of a
were
legendary.
the stuff of legend.
The joke is
Like,
the
there's
legend
3
part.
legends in that.
Is that
Yeah,
that
that's
part
the
of
joke.
the joke?
It's the joke.
I took these all out of context, so it's probably a joke.
We'll have to watch it. And
Yeah,
We'll have to watch it and find out.
we'll have to watch it on the pod.
Both of them.
Okay, number 8. Ooh, my tenders.
I assume this is
Jim?
some sort of animal saying this because they're all animals in these movies, right?
Yes.
So maybe a chicken or like a.
I can't give you any.
I'm going to go
context.
with the Panda Warrior.
Okay.
Whatever Kevin and Jim say, I'm going the opposite.
Wow, it's a bold move.
Wow.
I'm going to go the opposite of Jim. And you're fucked, Peter. You get no answer.
Peter, it looks like you have to make a decision for yourself.
Peter, flip a coin.
Curse Kevin. The opposite of Kevin still.
And what did you say?
Well, you chose Kung Fu.
The Warrior.
The Warrior. So they're both the Warrior. I'm Kung Fu.
Okay, warrior, kung fu. Kevin is right.
Taking the lead.
All right. Yep. Kevin is taking a healthy lead.
All right, Jim, let's form an alliance.
Okay, let's form the line.
Okay, number 9.
You answer what I answer.
Now that the evil master has finally been defeated, Faith and Hope, the 2 heavenly whales, are once again the guardians of peace.
Okay.
Okay.
This is clearly Panda Warrior.
Panda Warrior.
Warrior.
I may have given that one away. I couldn't even read it.
Did you say 2 faith whales?
Now that
Heavenly Whales.
Now that the evil master has finally been defeated, Faith and Hope, the 2 heavenly whales, are once again the
yes.
guardians of peace.
That's like just a really
How the
weird,
fuck do whales guard peace?
It's a kind of what's a weird like Chinese mythology mishmash they have going on.
Yeah,
There.
they can fly around. They're introduced at the end of the movie. Yeah.
Those are good whale noises.
That's not whale noises. That's Gary. He's dying.
Oh, he's finally bleeding out on the floor.
Dark web.
And number 10.
Bop, bop.
The worst death noise ever. Just
That is a beautiful thing.
like
That's like a Muppets movie, like death groan right there.
it's like I just like you've been holding in a like a piercing fart.
Yeah,
And you just go,
the gas is finally coming out.
That's right. There you go. Way to go. The last line, number 10, and this is really going to stir things up. Jim has a chance to
To unseat Kevin.
Tie.
to tie. The last line is.
Do I get my house back if I win this?
Yes, you do.
Okay, cool.
You earn it. Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary. Peter.
He's shaking you off. He's shaking you off.
Peter's shaking his head. Peter.
Well, based off the legendary quote earlier, I'm going to go with which one's Jack Black?
Kung Fu.
Opposite of that.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
good.
Based off the same evidence, I'll go with Kung Fu Panda.
All right. And just to make sure that I win, I'll also say Kung Fu Panda.
All right.
Oh, no.
He's doing the math over there.
That was, in fact, Kung Fu Panda.
There we
bitch.
go.
All right. So in
Strong second place over here.
what a game. In third place, we have Peter Freeze with 5 of these. 5 of these right.
That's wrong.
5 points?
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah,
5 runs.
50%.
5 RBIs
It's like you flipped a coin.
every
is.
time.
Little bit.
A little bit. Jim is in second place with 8 points.
Ooh.
And Kevin with 9. You only got 1
I
wrong.
only missed one.
I'd like to point out that Kevin got one wrong.
I also like to point out the fact that Kevin clarified before we started that him knowing about the Panda Warrior will not affect his performance.
I did not cheat.
And yet, he did get 9 out of 10 points.
I request a formal inquiry.
That's a point off because he had to make sure it didn't look like he was going to win all of them.
I'm just very close
covering his
personal
butt.
friends with Jack Black.
Jack Black.
And I've watched all of his movies at least 6 times.
Are you confusing Jack Black with Rob Schneider?
Yes. Which is why I've seen both of them 6 times.
Yeah. God, love me some Panda Warrior. Love me some Panda Kung Fu movies, huh? Or Warrior movies. They're great. Actually, the story of the Panda Warrior is that he's a human that turns into a panda.
No.
No.
So it's a little different.
I still want to watch it, but also that makes me sad.
Well, the whole thing is he's talking about how he's heard about this magical place of peace where people live in harmony and peacefulness, and they repeat it over and over and over again. And the place is called Maryland.
Like
Baltimore?
Maryland?
No, like I'm pretty
Maryland.
sure it's like Merry Christmas,
Like
Maryland.
Merrry.
And then he visits Maryland, and it's not so peaceful, and he has to defeat the evil master,
Right.
So he can bring back the
how much do you think
The two
the writer
heavenly
made on
whales.
the
that
2
film?
heavenly whales.
Right, yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
$2,000.
No.
They probably
they
make
got paid more than that.
Yeah, they probably make a decent amount. I mean, they probably do well like overseas, and then there's probably like kids that still want to see it, and parents just are like whatever.
And parents
Kids
are like, you
only-
love Kung Fu Panda, here's another Panda movie.
It's the Netflix or whatever streaming service is going to pay money, so your kids are just entertained with whatever crap that is on there. And so the more content that kids pay attention to, the better for you.
So if you're looking for who to blame, it's the kids,
Big,
it's the children.
it's big streaming and big kids.
I just know it's now so hot in here that Kevin has moved spaces on the couch because it got too hot in one spot.
It is very stinking hot.
Too hot in one spot.
Also, that part of the couch isn't coming back, it looks like.
there's no recovery.
It's gone.
Mike, too hot in one spot sounds like an 80s like funk R&B song.
Yeah. Too hot.
One spot.
It writes itself.
It writes itself.
It's so good. It's too hot in one spot. You gotta move to the other spot. Yeah. Anyway, so Kevin takes the win, and I think that's a great podcast right there.
What a wonderful podcast.
What a wonderful podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
What a wonderful podcast. Thank for tuning in. This was just a wonderful podcast.
Just one of the best. One of the best, I think. So
Wonderful hosts, wonderful content, what wonderful voices speaking into the microphones. What a wonderful one. I just love every moment of this wonderful podcast.
All right.
I think Kevin's become dehydrated or something.
I think
Something's happening.
The ghost of Jerry Lewis is now in the room.
is it too soon? Nah, it's just right. It's just right.
Yeah. Hey, Jerry, how's it going?
It's just wonderful. Just wonderful right now. Just a white temperature, just wonderful.
Wow.
Wow.
So anybody got any plugs or anything? Anything interesting going on?
Butt plugs?
So go ahead and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on iTunes and Apple Podcasts and Google Play and Stitcher,
Google Plus,
Google-
Facebook,
Spotify.
Yeah, not yet, not Spotify yet, but for most part, any place that you get your podcast, you can find us. Be sure to write a review on iTunes or tell a friend, or at least just give us 5 stars or a high five.
Give us a high five.
Give us a high five if you see us. Don't tell us why. We'll know.
If you're listening to the podcast in any public place, please unplug your earphones or earbuds and just let the sound envelop wherever you are.
Go in any public space you are.
Give a gift to those around you.
That's
Turn
right.
your phone, your iPod
all the way up. Your
That's right.
speaker, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's right. Christmas just a little early.
Yeah,
Give-
I mean,
give
you
a
hear
gift.
people blasting rap music left and right, but you never are driving through a park and just hear someone blasting a podcast, getting information into their ears.
All right, Grandma, go back to bed.
Okay.
Grandma, we're recording a podcast.
Well, what's a podcast?
No, not now, Grandma.
You gotta clean your room after you
No, my friends are over.
Dad's gone. No rules.
No rules.
No rules.
Anyway, so also hop on that Instagram if you can. I'm going to go ahead and end this while we're ahead or behind. As always, keep squirming.
Oh, we didn't even do the ending right. What a piece of shit.
Did we not? How do we not do
The
that?
squirming was so bad.
It was a bad squirm. You know what? I thought it was a wonderful squirm.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry. All right, we'll end it there.
Bye.